Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again, and today I'm doing something slightly different. Usually my videos, as you know, are around a new commander, new legendary commander. Let's see what we can do at the moment, especially while we're waiting for the Lost Caverns of Ixalan to come out. Today's is different because instead of having a commander, I've actually picked a card. And that card, as you probably know from the video description, is the Millennium Calendar. A 1-mana legendary artifact that says whenever you untap one or more permanents during your untap step, put that many time counters on the Millennium Calendar. 2 mana, tap it, double the number of time counters on the calendar. And I'm going to refer to it as the calendar from here on in because Millennium's just too long for me. And then when there are 1,000 or more time counters on the calendar, sacrifice it, and each opponent loses 1,000 life. 1,000 life. We have a new alternate win condition coming into MTGO. And I like alternate win conditions. I did a whole deck on it a while back. If I can find the link, I'll put it in the description down below, where I just had loads of different win conditions and I went for it. But I think it's worth talking about the Millennium Calendar. Now, my background, I have a very different job now where I work, but I'm still in education and I was trained as a maths teacher. So, you know, me being me, had to look at this and do a bit of a spreadsheet. Screenshot the spreadsheet. You play the calendar on a turn. We'll call it turn of playing. Yep, so turn 1. And you've only got one other land in play. No other permits, you just play it, you have that. So maybe it's turn 1 in a game. You've got no counters in it. You go to your turn 2, you untap your land, you get a counter on the calendar. You play another land, so you've now got 2 lands in play, and I've kept it with 2 lands all the way through this. You then go to your turn, the end step before your turn, you go pay 2, tap this, tap the calendar. So you go from 1 counter to 2 counters, then you untap the 2 lands of the calendar. That means you've then put 3 extra counters on it, because if you remember, whenever you untap one or more permanents during your untap step, put that many time counters on the calendar. So it counts itself. So you get 3 counters. So you're now up to 5. Next turn, you do the same thing again. You double them, it goes to 10. You untap, it goes to 13. Double goes to 26. Untap goes to 29. Turn 6, you go to turn 6, the 6th turn after you've played, I should say, the calendar. You go 61. Then you go 125. Then you go to 253. Then you go to 509. And then on the 10th turn, after you've played the calendar, you've got 1,021 tokens, counters on your calendar. And you win the game because you basically deal everyone 1,000 points of damage. Yeah, not many commander games go to turn 10 or, you know, or turn 14, turn 15, depending when you get the calendar out. But I think it's doable in Commander. And that's what today's deck tech is all about. It's trying to see if we can actually do this in Commander in a way that makes sense. So here we go. The commander I've picked is Glacian, the Powerstone engineer from Commander Masters. Now, I did and I could have played as a Lord High Artificer here. Yes, it's probably better. In all honesty, it probably is. But then it just becomes another Lord Urza deck. We've all seen Urza's decks so much, it's kind of, you know, yay, no, boring. If you're anything like when I'm streaming, anyone who's playing Urza, Lord High Artificer against us tends to get picked on by the whole table. So we can have a fun game because I've never seen a fun deck. I have it. I've got CEDH version of it. Yeah. But anyway, aside, Glacian, Powerstone Engineer. I like this one. Tap it. Tap X artifacts. We control untapped artifacts. Go and look through the top of your library. Get one of those cards. Put the rest in your graveyard. Because what you want to do is trying to get the calendar out as soon as possible. That's the whole aim of this deck. And then we've got things to do to back it all up. So, Drafner, founder of Latnam, gets a copy of target artifact spell for 3 mana, so one of our ramp spells. That's cool. Or we get to return an artifact you control to its owner's hand. Protection in case it gets exiled. And I'll talk about that at the end of the video. Renowned Weaponsmith just gives us a way of casting our artifact spells a little bit quicker. Thrumming Bird, we like Proliferate in this deck, and we do have Proliferate sub-theme because we want to make sure we get the 1,000 counters on here as quickly as possible. Flux Challenger, I've done it again. Channeler. I will get there. Sorry, I'm a bit tongue-tied today. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, we get to proliferate. We've only got 19 creatures, so if we have this in play, we're going to be proliferating a lot. Thassa's here just to help us out so we can do the scrying, and then if we need to make creatures unblockable, we can. Tribute Mage goes and fetches as one of our 2 mana ramp spells or things we need to make the Millennium Calendar tick even quicker. Trinket Mage is purely here to go and fetch the calendar. No other option. Unless you've already got the calendar in play, in which case, go and fetch your Soul Ring, your Elixir of Immortality. Or, Jeweled Lotus if you really need to get the Powerstone Engineer out. But at the end of the day, it's here to go and get calendar. The end. Trophy Mage goes and gets one of the 3 mana artifacts we have in the deck. So either the Ikamoon Gauntlet, the Midnight Clock, or the Skyclave Relic. Urza, Powerstone Prodigy is here, just so we can discard artifacts if we need to, or someone makes us discard and we can draw and get a Powerstone token, which helps us, when we untap it, it puts another counter on the calendar. Gitaxian Antimos, or whatever it is, I can't say that word today. Yes, it'll come into play, we will tap it, we will proliferate, assuming we have a counter on the calendar. Phyrexian Metamorph, copy something, literally of any artifact or creature on the battlefield, and you would probably copy your opponent's ramp spells or something if you haven't got one yourself. Stone Retrieval Unit gives another tap Powerstone token, and that untaps and gives another counter when we have the calendar in play. And Teculotha Inquiry Dominus, double proliferate will help in this deck a bit. Well, quite a lot actually, especially when we've got counters on here. Viral Drake is just got built-in proliferate. Really minor potential win condition of infecting everybody and then doing the proliferation that way, but that's a push with a 1/4. Geology Enthusiast just gives us a Powerstone at our instep, and then we can pay 6, draw a card, and put a +1/+1 counter on the Enthusiast. We need to build up a big win thing. Collis Rock gives us a Powerstone. It's got flash, it flies, so bit of air defense if we need it. Kulduth the Forge Master. Sacrifice all those lovely Powerstones, go and find the artifact we really need from our deck. We strongly suggest when we get there, hit the Darksteel Forge as soon as possible. Kappa Cannoneer just gives us a nice threat that's really hard for our opponents to deal with. And Memnarch. Memnarch is our real backup win condition in this deck. Target permanent becomes an artifact in addition to its other types for 1 and 2 blue mana, and then 3 and a blue mana, gain control of target artifact. Yeah, okay, then I'm going to nick everything my opponents are playing against me. We only have 2 Planeswalkers in the deck. Karn Living Legacies here, just to create Powerstone tokens to help us out a little bit, Get some more things to sacrifice. That's cool. If we can do the -1 and pay any amount of mana, look at that many cards from top of your library and put one of those cards in your hand, that's fine. Gives another way of searching out a calendar. And then eventually, if we can get to the -7 to tap all artifacts to ping things, especially with Tamio's Journal, it's another win condition. Very rare one, but it is a win condition. Tezzeret the Seeker is just stupid. Untap the calendar, untap Soul Ring. Do it again, do it again, do it again. And also searching out the calendar if we need to. Yeah, I love this card. Can't fault it in this deck at all, one little bit. Few spells. Contentious Plan for the proliferating card draw. Same with Experimental Augur. The plating is just to give us a little bit of protection for 1 turn if someone tries to exile our calendar, which could cause us a problem, but I'll talk about that in a little while. Reshape, another way of going and finding the artifacts that we need. Serum Sneer bounces things if we need it to, and then a little bit of proliferate. Transmute Artifact looks really wordy on here. It's a lot easier on MTGO. But this is why the cost of the deck is so high. It's about $250, I think. Drop it if you haven't got it. It's cheaper on MTGO. As you can see, it's 3.86 tickets, so it's not too sad. Fabricate goes and fetches an artifact you need. Splitting the Power Stone, you can sacrifice a Power Stone, get 2 Power Stones. Yeah, okay then. Steady Progress, proliferate card draw. Stern Lesson gives us another way of getting some more Power Stones into play and a bit of card draw. Whirl of Invention goes and finds your Millennium Calendar for us. Argravian Restoration was originally in Weatherlight. I didn't realise it had been reprinted until I clicked on this and just saw the change of set symbol there. But it's another way of returning Millennium Calendar from our graveyard if it gets shattered to the battlefield. So it should help out. Tezzeret's Gamble, proliferating card draw. Urza's Command, a little bit of Power Stone tokens or a blocker if we need it, or a scry and a draw, whatever one you want to do. Unlikely to do the -2, -0 unless you're about to die, and that does save you. Vivisurgeon's Insight, draw 3, proliferate. Saheeli's Artistry, you get to token as a copy of a target artifact, so Soul Ring springs to mind. And then you get create a token as a copy of target creature, except as an artifact. nick someone's biggest creature on the board. Things that spring to mind that could be useful. Can't think of anything at the moment, but I'm sure you can. Artifacts are the important bit. So, right then, Jeweled Lotus kicks off the artifact side of things. That gives us a way of getting Glacial out really quickly. Mox Tantalite, Soul Talisman, Elixir of Immortality, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Sapphire Medallion, Sky Diamond are all kind of the ramp that you'd expect to see in one of my decks, as you know. The calendar I've talked about. The Voltaic Key and Galvanic Key are here basically so we can untap the calendar and do it again in our turn if we want to. The Compass is here just so we can eventually get the 7 lands to play and have ourselves a Maze of Ith to protect us. Ikamoon Gauntlet, yes, putting Proliferate on our 2 Planeswalkers may help. However, and -12, take an extra turn, yeah, that'd be helpful. However, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, choose a counter on target permanent, put an additional counter of that kind on that permanent. Time counters. Okay then. Midnight Clock, just another way of getting some mana ramp into the deck, and or eventually a way of shuffling our graveyard back into our library if we need it to. Skyclave Relic gives us indestructible ramp. And the Clock of Omens, tap 2 untapped artifacts, untap an artifact, gives another way of untapping the Millennium Calendar. Slagstone Refinery, or another artifact you control is put into graveyard off the battlefield, or is put into exile from the battlefield, you get a Powerstone token. People may blow up your artifacts, you don't know. They will be blowing up this one, I promise you that. Unwinding Clock. Untap all artifacts you control during each other player's untap step. With this in play, you speed up the way in which you win with the Millennium Calendar really quickly if you've got enough artifact ramp in play to make sure it happens. It's pretty good. See, whenever you untap one or more permanents during your untap step. Nope, ignore that. It doesn't work at all. As it does, you get to double it. You don't get the extra things, you just keep doubling. Sorry, my bad. It does work. Need to read cards carefully. So yeah, Unwinding Clock is really good. It's dark outside, I'm tired, I'm getting things wrong, I'm sorry. 3 Wishes gives us a Ring of 3 Wishes, goes and gives us a way to find a calendar. Tamiyo's Journal gives us a whole load of artifacts that we can sacrifice if we need them to. And Darksteel Forge, I've already mentioned, as the first target for the Forge Master. Enchantments, Artificer class makes the first artifact spell we cast each turn costs 1 less. And then becomes level 2, reveal the cards on top of your library until you reveal an artifact card, put that into your hand, the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Level 3, at the beginning of your end step, create a token that's a copy of a target artifact you control. Yeah, okay then. Artificer's Intuition is just a nice 2 mana enchantment when you can discard an artifact you don't really care about, and you can go and actually find the wonderful Millennium Calendar that you're looking for. Court of Vantress gives you a way of copying other things when you're the monarch, or you may have the Court of Vantress become a copy of something. And Inexplicable Tide, whenever you cast a spell, Proliferate. It's a little bit expensive at 5 mana, I'm not going to argue that. It's like, one of the more expensive cards in the deck, but has its upside, so I would be happy to have it come into my deck and see it in play, to be honest. The land-wise, really easy. Arch of Volcanis to draw stuff when we get the Blessing. The 3 lands from Streets of New Capenna that goes and fetches an island are here. So the Broker's Hideout, the Theatre, Theatre and Storefront. Castle Vantress for a bit of scrying so we can dig down to the calendar. Hall of Tagensin to give us more Power Stones if we need them. Homeward Path so we can gain control of everything if someone nicks some of our creatures. Not that we've got many creatures, but they might nick something. Yeah. Just be careful. If you've nicked a load of stuff from Memnarch, you don't activate this to give them all their Memnarchs back. Just be careful of that, please. Inventor's Fair. Go and find an artifact when we need it to, when we've got 3 or more in play. 24 islands. Bastion, Khan's Bastion for the proliferation. More card draw with the Centre of the Sea. Reliquary Tower, Temple of the False God, you'd expect to see in one of my decks. And Rivendell, when we have our lovely commander in play, we get to do a bit of scrying for 2 mana. That's cool, I can cope with that. But that's it. That's my take on the Millennium Calendar. I think it's doable in Commander. I'm going to be, as soon as I can get hold of a Millennium Calendar once the set releases, I will be trying this out on stream a lot. I may adapt it. There may be an updated version this coming where I go for another partner to go and get some more ways of getting proliferation on the go or ramp on the go, but we'll see what happens. But for now, thank you for watching today's video. Hope you come back, go back, watch some of the ones previously. Hope you've hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video that will be coming out tomorrow. Take care. Bye.